The Gospel of Thomas, according to John. The Gospel of Thomas. The Gnostic or Coptic texts, Thomas, in the Nag Hammadi library, are very interesting. And I think there's a lot in there that ties together with John's teachings of the period. There's also a lot in there that are nuanced differently. For instance, John talks about how it's difficult for us to see the divine light and to recognize it. And Thomas talks about the divine light within, and it's always there. You're born with it, and I don't think these are in disagreement. I think they are nuanced. One of them says you don't recognize it, and the other one says it's within you. I think that kind of ties together, right? Where there is some serious parting in the John and the Thomas conversation is Thomas did not believe in the physical reincarnation. He believed the physical reincarnation was the conscious ascension into heaven without a physical reform. It was literally enlightenment is what he considered reincarnation. Many scholars believe that the reason the story of doubting Thomas came about in John was John kind of needling Thomas to say, what's your stance? Did he come back or not? I don't necessarily buy that, because I don't think in reality it was as the papers of each were very rarely read. I think things were being written down and distributed, but I don't think the daily newspaper was coming to John. I don't get it that way. I think that there is definitely correlations. The line in Thomas where he says, God is within and without. I think that's spot on, correct. But like all the rest of the Nag Hammadi texts that are out there in the Dead Sea Scrolls and all that, just like every other part of the Bible, you've got the human mind at play. You've got the human mind in there as well, and you've got to read those texts as from your own filter of, does this feel right? And that's what you follow. You follow what feels right for you. There's a lot in the Gospel of Thomas that feels right for me. There's some in there that does not feel right for me. And so when I read that gospel, I'm very excited about the concept of individual empowerment that comes from Thomas. There's a lot in there that I think is just slightly off the mark. There's a lot in there that I think is very complementary to John's teachings. But like most things, I think it got some human trappings around it. And it's probably one of my favorites out there, because I think it is probably closest. But I do think there's some definite stuff wrapped around it. Even when I read the book of John, there's definitely some of John's thoughts in there, but there's a lot of other writings in there that don't fit with the teachings that I remember. There's a lot of translation and rewrites and things that have happened over the years, and when you look at those rewrites, they are definitely geared towards a power structure to make somebody else powerful. And that the whole point of Joshua's teachings was, you are the power, you are the creator, you are the only power in the entire universe is you. Right? God is here, and we are all part of God, but you are the creative force. You are the one who gets to choose what you're creating. You are the one who gets to wield the power of God, wield the source. My son at 6 years old, God is in everything and everyone. but we control the God part inside of us. We're wielding the power of creation. We are one with God. We are one with that source. We are one with each other. And when we recognize the fear around us, we have the ability to help negate the fear. We have the ability to help others break out of their fear. We have the ability to be love and be loving. And if you can take the time to be love and be loving, then you will be creating a loving environment around you, and your part of the world gets more loving. And the more of us that make our part of the world loving, the faster the ascension is, the faster we all raise up to that next level, which is happening. It is happening fast. It's happening very, very fast. In the grand scheme of time, we're millions of years old, our planet, right? Grand scheme of time, I'm noticing a difference from 20 years ago, from 15 years ago. I noticed a difference now. In 15 years. Now, 15 years over a million years is nothing. This ascension is happening ridiculously fast. And we need to make sure that we are, happily being a part of it, because that is what's going to change our world. That's what's going to change the environment. That's how this thing's going to play out and become that raising consciousness that we all want to see happen. We want to create a loving, caring world, but that's more connected to our source, our unconditionally loving source. And the way we do that is we be the love, as Gandhi would say. Be the change you want to see in the world. That's what we do. That's our job. And the Gospel of Thomas basically says you've got the power. Gospel of John says you got the power. And my buddy Joshua, all those years ago, that's all he spoke about, was you've got the power. So go out there and wield that power for good, and come back and share that with everybody, and share your stories. Go out and do good things. Come back and share your stories with us in the community, because it makes us feel good. And that's loving too. It makes us go out into the world. Every day I'm so grateful. And one of the other videos I did, I talked about the people who have been writing me letters and chastising me or whatever. For every one of them, I get 15 positive letters. I'm not in any way, shape, or form concerned about the negative ones. I'm overjoyed, and it brings a tear to my eye and makes me very happy to see that I've affected somebody else's life positively, because that's my goal. And the ones who aren't being affected positively, obviously I'm not the one to share the information that they'll understand. So there you go. So that's my thought on the Gospel of Thomas and the direction we're all headed as well. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.